Hello, everyone. Happy Saturday. It's Soulful Saturday. Who's with me? Who's here? I'm looking for my lovelies. I'm looking. Hello, I see you coming in here. Who's going to be the first to say hello? Let's see who's here. My goodness, what a quiet Saturday we're having so far. There we go. Hi, Andrea. Hello, Denise. There's my girl, Doris. Hi, Martha. Hello, Linda. And Susan's in the house. Sweet Susan. Hi, Beverly. Hi, Heather. And there's my girl, Marianne. And Mo. Nice to see you too. Hi, Susan. We got a couple of Susans in the house. And there's my girl, Joanne and Karen. And you know who that is. That's our girl, Jenny. Hi, Julie. Another Susan. Golly, we got Susans cubed. Hi, Evie. Hi, Dawn. Marianne's here. I love Marianne's post. If you saw her hydration thing, that was fun. Hi, Arla, Corky. Pinky's up. Angie's here. There's Lynn. Hi, Estelle from Scotland. Oh gosh, I've never been to Scotland. It's on the list. Marisha. Carla. Kristen. Hello. Good to see everyone. Thanks so much for popping by. I know. She's looking at Corky's looking at my desk. It's clean, guys. It's done. The book is done. Marla's got her little things that she needs to do. I have some notes to myself, of course, that saying, oh, maybe I need to add this and maybe I need to add that, but we shall see. Jenny currently has it and is reading it, and I'm waiting with bated breath to say what she thinks of it, but we shall see. This is just my part. Marla hasn't added her part yet, but you know what? We've got this. So anyway, today is, of course, Soulful Saturday. My name is Nelson. Can you look up the Blossom theme song and recreate the opening credits on your live stream? What on earth, Nelson? I think you're in the wrong spot. Anyway, whatever. I am so glad that you're all here. And today is Saturday, of course, and it's Soulful Saturday. And we talk about stuff that's, our beautiful selves. That's what I call our beautiful self, that big part of us that houses our soul, our intuition, the Holy Spirit, our intuition is a big one too, and also our empathy, because I believe empathy is something that is created by our own understanding, and it's created by the way that we love. And this is part of emotional intelligence, by the way. Emotional intelligence is a big deal. And, it used to never be anything that anyone talked about until just recently. And I found it very fascinating, and I just thought I would share that with you today because I think you'll find it fascinating as well. And can I just say that maybe we need a little more empathy in our world right now? All the things that are going on, I have been working hard to not be in despair. There's just been a lot of stuff out there that is heartbreaking. And, as a mother, you see all these things happening and all this attacking and all of the junk, and you feel like, it just pierces you to your soul. And I don't have to explain what all the things are that are going on. But anyway, today is Soulful Saturday. You know what that means? New quote. Here's our new quote of the week. No masterpiece was ever created by a lazy artist. This is from Elijah Winfrey. Elijah Winfrey is he is a golfer who has turned philanthropist and is raising money and awareness for autism. And I just love, you know, his whole quest in life is to finally get into that place of bringing awareness that autistic folks and children just have a different way of expressing themselves. And I love all the things that he had to say about that. And I've just kind of loved to on his mission. I think he's a brilliant man. And you know, I usually don't like the word lazy. But at this point, I think that it's a good thing, because when we talk about being a lazy artist, I think oftentimes we're talking about just, you know, backing away from our creative selves. And so when we step into our creativity, we're stepping into a place that maybe has been dormant for a very long time. You know, it might be, you think, oh, I'm just not an artistic person, I'm not this or that. But we're all creative. We all have imaginations. We all have the ability, if we choose, to be that creative. And creativity doesn't necessarily mean that you've got to pick up paints and become a painter, but it does call upon a different skill set that maybe you have or have not, or something that's a different part of your brain, to bring you into the place of understanding that the daily practice of imagination and of creativity is really what you're being called on to do. So, like I said, I don't like the word lazy, but sometimes I think lazy kind of brings it into fruition, because lazy is just the act of not doing something. And if we are actively pursuing the artist within, I believe that we're going to find something within ourselves that's worth creating. Keep that in mind. Anyway, that's a pretty good quote, I think. Let's think about that. Also, we have our supplement of the week, which is Crave Crusher. Flying out the door, y'all. Flying out the door. You put 3 into your cart. We will put a 4th one in for you free. And if you put ships free in the promo window, we'll ship it to you free as long as you live here in the United States. We like to support you any way that we can. And I am all about, this is how I shop, y'all. It's how I shop. I buy things in larger quantities. I use my freezer. I use my refrigerator. I use my pantry. And I have high quality, good stuff in there. And guess what? I didn't pay retail for any of it, because I buy on sale, I buy in bulk, and this is the kind of thing that I would do. You know, if I were a Saving Dinner customer, I would be buying these buy 3 get 1 free. So it's fantastic. Wendy's asking, do you have products for diabetes? Yes, I do. Specifically, I would be using the glycozyme, which is a fantastic digestive enzyme, really good. It has cinnamon in it and a few other things that are really good for diabetics. Collagen, of course, fiber mender, what else? And L-glutamine. I would have all of those at my disposal. The Crave Crusher would work fabulously for diabetics, especially if you have any kind of addiction issues. And what else would we have in there? I'm just trying to think. Leptofix. Leptofix is a supplement that I take every single morning. We're finding, and the research is showing, I've been doing quite a bit of research on leptin resistance, and it turns out that a lot of diabetics are leptin resistant. So I would definitely get that supplement as well. You can get the Crave Crusher, leptin, Leptofix, all of those things. They're all there. So I hope you wrote those down, because I did it pretty fast off the top of my head. And by the way, if you order over $200 worth of supplements, I always send you a mug. Now, I'm going to show you something that you're not going to believe. Well, first of all, these are almost gone. And you know what? Because they're almost gone, we got our new one in. Should I show it, Jenny? Jenny and I have been loving on it. We had, Mark was like, what have you done here? Why would you do this? All right, you ready? Isn't it the cutest thing you've ever seen? That's all you get to see right now. I just gave you a flash. Jenny just said, no, don't show it. I just showed it for a minute. Just a flash. But if you saw it for just that minute, is that not the cutest thing? We came up with this, and Mark just thinks it's horrible. But what do you know, he doesn't get it. He doesn't understand about Pinkies Up. He doesn't understand our solidarity. He doesn't understand our little girls club that we have here. So, yes, there are products on my website. Yes, 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 yes. Wendy, happy to support you and get you to the place, I believe firmly, with the proper everything, you can, that type 2 diabetes can be reversed. I've seen it over and over again. I have seen it. I have coached clients. I've seen it personally with my own eyeballs. I have been watching, and I've got coaching clients right now that I'm watching their blood glucose numbers come down simply by adopting our way of doing things. You know, that's it. Just our way of doing things, taking our supplement. Our supplements are all designed to support women in the stages and ages that we are in. That's what they're designed to do. They're designed to help you and to support you as you're trying to crush cravings, for example, as you're trying to live a healthier lifestyle, trying to get your blood sugar down, trying to get your protein up, trying to feel good and optimal. Because, you know, here's the thing. It's, yes, we all want, you know, the jeans, right? We want the jeans, we want the jeans. We want to get in the skinny jeans or whatever the heck. We want to put a bathing suit on. We want to do whatever it is that we want to do. But at the end of the day, if you're racked full of pain, if you're constantly taking a gazillion, bazillion type of, you know, medications that are breaking your family's bank, if you feel horrible, and if it's holding you back from the life you want to lead, you know, who cares about the jeans? That's what we're all about. That's what we're doing. And this is why every single supplement that we have in our shop is designed to support your healthy life. It's designed because it's not just about being healthy, it's about being vibrant. Vibrant's my favorite word. I say it all the time. And the reason that I say it is because there's a difference between just getting by and actually enjoying and embracing and loving the life that you have. Proud of you. You're starting to reverse it. No sugar is key. The carbohydrates, keeping them massively low, is key. And as far as arthritis, absolutely. For arthritis, I would do SAMe, because it just makes the joint smooth. There are some contraindications if they're on antidepressants, but this also works as an antidepressant. I would look at collagen. Collagen is amazing as well. You need to be looking at, what other things do we have? The fiber, everything basically that we have in the shop is so helpful for helping to get rid of it. And let me just say this as well. Our anti-inflammatory diet, which is our sprint, is a framework for getting this work done. We have to have the food in line so that we have supplements to come alongside and to do even better work. That's what we do. And just think of it this way. You know, you can have a horse and ride a horse, or you can have a horse and buggy. And when you've got the food and a horse and buggy, now you've got transportation, right? For more than just one person. You got it for the whole family. And yes, InflaCrusher is another one that I was thinking right off the top of my head. It just absolutely wipes out. It wipes it out. And I use InflaCrusher, as a matter of fact, for any kind of pain that I have. Even if I get muscle pain from working out or headache or whatever, that's the first thing that I go to instead of a Tylenol or something like that. InflaCrusher. Incredible stuff. You'll find everything on our store. Our store has everything. Are you coming on Monday, by the way, everyone? Are you coming? I'm doing a sprint training workshop. The reason we're doing this is because I want you to be able to start the sprint. We start a week from this Monday. I want you to start the sprint knowing exactly what to do and how to do it. I want you to feel comfortable with it. And not only feel comfortable with it, but feel solid about it, because the research is there. And I'm going to share all of it with you, how to do it, etc. Just sign up for it, because, you know, we're using Crowdcast again, and this is exactly what you need to do. So you have to go to savingdinner.com/burn, B-U-R-N, and that's going to give you all the information. Wendy, yes, I do. Wendy's asking a lot of questions. Yes, I do meal planning. I was the first meal planner ever on the internet. I started it way back in the day, That's number one. And number two, I'm also a nutritionist. I've been a nutritionist since the early 90s. And I was a practicing nutritionist, no longer. Now I just practice here. And so this is why you get a lot of different information. Plus, I have discovered that your brain, if you can control your brain, then you can control what you're doing in your life. So I'm all about how I think about my thinking, how I show up in the world, how I can step up and be, a better partner, a better friend, a better mother, a better nutritionist. Everything's involved. Everything's involved in all of this, and this is why we talk about all this stuff. So, and don't forget too, we have so sign up for savingdinner.com/burn. Sign up for the webinar for this Monday coming up, 7 p.m. Eastern. You will be happy you did it, because it's going to be fun too. We get a lot of questions. And the other thing is the holiday workshop is coming up. Marla and I put this together, and we are over the moon excited. And when you see what is in the swag bag, you're going to be over the moon excited. Even if you don't want to come, you're going to want to just get that swag bag because there's so many goodies in there. So go to savingdinner.com/cruise, like you're going on a cruise, and you will get that. That's what you need. That is what you need right there. And don't forget, this is, I send out little notes to all of my lovelies when you guys are buying your supplements from me. I never take that for granted. I'm always appreciative, and every single day I pray for you guys. So I'm just thankful. You just know that. And one of my lovelies, Susan Willett, lovely Susan, she's here. I just want to say thank you to Susan. Susan's heard I was out of tea, and she sent me hers. Is that not the sweetest? And this beautiful note that made me cry, because she is just so lovely and such a beautiful, beautiful soul. And I appreciate that so much. I mean, how nice that we get to connect like this, isn't it? We might have this social isolation and all this other, social distancing stuff going on. We have the ability to connect all the time. And isn't there something so beautiful and so wonderful about, look, a handwritten letter that's saying, just how much they appreciate you. Who doesn't love to be appreciated? So that's why I always say and tell you how much I appreciate you, because you need to hear this. Because daily, I appreciate you. Daily, I'm thankful for you, and daily I pray for you. So thank you again, and thank you for being a support. It's unbelievable. Anyway, so today we're talking about, because it's Soulful Saturday, we're talking about emotional intelligence. And specifically, we're going to talk about empathy, because I think it's so sorely lacking right now in our world that I think it's time for us to kind of step up and be emotional, intelligent beings. Don't you think? Oh, Mimi, bless you. Thank you. So what is emotional intelligence anyway? Emotional intelligence is a way of sort of grading. We're told what our IQs were when we were younger, and all of that was a big deal when I was growing up. And being in the gifted class and everything was just always such a thing. And unfortunately, because it was us against them, and there's a lot of us against them kind of culture going on right now that I find to be heartbreaking and distressing. And rather than going into despair, I want to invite you to this place of stepping into your emotional intelligence, because we all have it. The point of emotional intelligence is it developed. So that's something that we need to be looking at. And part of emotional intelligence is there's 5 parts to emotional intelligence. It's self-awareness, self-regulation or self-control, motivation, empathy, and social skills. And, let's just unpack a couple of these, and then we're going to go park it on empathy, because that's the place that's making me nuts. And self-awareness, of course, is being aware of yourself and being aware of the fact that your very existence, excuse me, that I say all the time is you're here on purpose, on a mission, put here by God himself. I firmly believe that. I believe that with all of my heart, that we all have been assigned this time, that we've all been assigned even this time in 2020, in a pandemic, and all the crazy making, that we are in this place for a reason and for a purpose. And our purpose, always, always, always underlying all of it, is to help others. And we help others with, and who is our others? It could be your disabled child. It could be your elderly parent. It could be your raising, responsible children. It could be to be the best helpmate ever to your spouse. It could be to create a business that brings other people joy or goods or services or whatever. We all have a purpose, and our purpose is always to lift each other up and help each other. That's that deep. That needs to be deep-seated in ourselves. And when we have that self-awareness and understand that, it changes our perspective a little bit, and it helps us to step into our purpose without negating our lives. And that's a big, big deal. And then self-control, self-regulation comes into that, because if we are, just acting like wild animals, my goodness, isn't it terrible? I've made a conscious decision not to post anything political anymore on my personal Facebook page. I'm not ashamed of where I stand with everything. I've certainly changed over the years of where I was and where I am today, and it has nothing to do with, I don't want to offend anybody or whatever. I mean, if I offend somebody with my political beliefs, that's on them, not on me, right? Because I'm not going to shove anything down anyone's throat or hold a torch for anyone. Seriously, I'm not. I certainly have my views, but my purpose then has been, how can I be helpful? I can't be helpful on Facebook if I'm going to put something divisive out, because if I don't look at it as divisive, somebody else might. And so what's the point on that? There is no point. I just leave it alone. And I know, and I hope, and I pray, and I, have my own stance on a lot of things. But if I can bring joy where there was sadness, I'm going to do that. If I can bring and uplift somebody, instead of bringing them to a place of nervousness or combativeness or whatever, I'm going to do that. And if I can be in this place of offering somebody something that they can say, you know what, that just soothed my soul, that's what I want to do right now. And I want to step away from all of this other stuff, because it gets low vibe and really nasty and horrible, and step into instead emotional intelligence, which is calling me. It's a higher call. It's a higher purpose. It's a place of standing in the place of being loving. Being loving. Because at the end of the day, I really don't care who you're going to vote for. I really don't care about how all of this stuff operates or what you think about or all of that. What I care about, though, is your heart. I care about your soul. I care about your purpose. And I care about you having the emotional intelligence that you need in order to sort all this stuff out, too. Because we're all in this big mess together, aren't we? It's like a big old bowl of divisive spaghetti. Where does one strand end and another one start? I don't know. But having the self-control for me and not posting any of this business and staying away from all of that has put me in a place of being prayerful too. So being prayerful is something that we all have the ability to do. We all have the ability to be on our knees in prayer with humility of heart for our country, for our fellow man, and for love for all. For all. And we're called to do that. That's part of our purpose. And the motivation to do that is because we are understanding that our purpose is that. It's just that. It's a calling. It is a calling. If you're listening and if you're paying attention, you get to see that. And then that, of course, brings us to empathy. And what is empathy except putting yourself in someone else's shoes? How would you feel if that phone call was you and you were the mother? How would you feel if this were happening to you? How would that be? That puts us in a different spot than saying, well, they shouldn't have, you shouldn't have, they isn't he, finger pointing, blame shifting, all of that business. Instead, it puts us in the place of being loving. It puts us in the place of caring deeply, hugely for them, and understanding that even if they have a partial understanding of what the heck is going on, it's still loving. And that's what empathy does. Empathy takes us to the place of our beautiful selves so that we can be these people. And then to have the social skills to be able to express it in a way that shows that you care is another thing that we all need, right? It's always, it is that lifting tide that floats all boats. It's a lifting tide. And if that rising tide is going to float all the boats and we're all going to rise together, wouldn't it be beautiful if we could all stand in each other's shoes for just a minute? If we could understand that this woman over here who's taking care of a disabled child has a hard day. This woman over here who's taking care of her elderly father and has dementia and is having a tough day. Wouldn't it be beautiful if we could all give each other that kind of grace? Wouldn't it? So empathy, then, is deeply listening to one another. Think about that for a minute. How often have we been in the place where we are listening just to respond? You know, have you ever been in an argument with somebody that you cared about and you're just listening and getting ready to respond and you want to punch back hard, you want to be pithy and have a sharp, comment? You know, I've shared this with you, and I think one of my gifts from God has been that I've been a decent writer and I've been a good, fairly decent communicator. But the other side, the flip side of that, is I have a very sharp tongue unless I keep it in check. I have ripped off some really cruel emails. I have said some things that have been just really sharp and awful to my children, to even Mark, and what have you. But one thing that has helped me out a lot, and it's become less and less as I go, is this self-awareness and understanding. This is just not right. I don't have, even if I'm right, do I have the right to obliterate somebody with my words and take them down a notch? Is that what this is about? This one-upsmanship in words to take somebody and put them in their place? Is that what we want to do to each other? This is why we need to be able to deeply listen. Listen and hear what this other person is saying. Being open-hearted and truly hearing and understanding that. I had a conversation with someone not too long ago about this whole thing, and I couldn't understand a certain thing that I was asking them about, and I was met with some real nasty stuff that really hurt my feelings. And I just decided, I'm going to let that go. I'm going to let that go, and I'm not going to go there again, ever again. Because I was trying to understand something, and I got lit back with some stuff that maybe they picked up somewhere, let's just say, But this is how it is when we don't deeply listen. When we deeply listen, we are looking to respond, we're looking to understand. And there's something so different about that. Because you know how it feels to be heard? Do you know how that feels inside? It's a completely different thing than just having somebody all over you. And that happens all the time. The other thing about empathy, besides deeply listening, is sensing others' feelings, sensing when they're upset, sensing something's on. In other words, not just being so wrapped up in yourself that you actually have your radar out toward others as well. I've seen this before, and you can see it with your children when they just get a little bit, introspective and quiet, or maybe with your spouse or even a friend. But when we see this, we can see and sense that there's something else going on. This is our intuition telling us, because our intuition is on point, is on key. It's opened up and listening and feeling and looking and searching. When we do this, our empathy is just is round and warm and welcoming to others. And we have to have that in us. We cannot dismiss and say, well, if you don't like this, then you can just get out of my life. If you're not going to do this, then, how much have we had enough of that? The name calling and the this and the that, and you're out of here, I don't care. I am so tired of that. Let's be inclusive. Let's be caring. Let's hear each other. Let's stop with this backhanded, get out of my way kind of a thing, and start sensing that others have feelings, others care, others need somebody to say something gentle and kind. Gentle and kindness can be yours. And as a matter of fact, go look up the fruits of the Spirit, Go read it. It's in Galatians. Go read it. Long-suffering is one of them, and it's patience with one another. It's important that we understand that we can't just walk around with only ourselves in mind. There are other people on this planet who all have purpose in their lives too. And if we could treat each one of them just like that, as important as we are, then they're going to feel loved, they're going to feel cared about, they're going to feel heard, they're going to feel nurtured, and they're going to open up. And it changes everything when you do this inside. Also, practice what it would feel like to be in somebody else's shoes. Living like that can't possibly allow you to have a happy life. Really? I firmly disagree, Dawn. Living like that can possibly allow you to have a happy life because it gives you a bigger heart for others, and it gives us a purpose to love one another. And not being able to be like this with others just means you're only out for yourself. And if you're only out for yourself, then what's your purpose of being here? Just to knock down the competition? Oh, you're agreeing with me. Okay. I see what you're saying. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes. Oh, thank you. Gosh, I was thinking, wow. Thank you, Dawn. She's agreeing with me. Bless you. I'm sorry. I'd surely hope, this is it. This is how we fit. This is our little piece of the world. This is our little corner of the world where we get to be these kind of women. Thanks for the little happy faces and the hearts. That's sweet. We have to practice this. So one of the ways that we can do this, and I've said this to you over and over again before, is that when we practice things of just imagine, can you imagine what it must be like to be that woman who got that phone call from the police officer that their son was dead? Can you imagine what it would be like to be, and I did this, I had to go through this with a friend about a year ago, or I guess it's been a couple of years now, whose son hung himself in the basement. How do you empathize with that? All I could tell her was that I loved her, that I would pray for her, and that, but I kept thinking to myself, what would it have been like if that was me? And I couldn't even imagine. How much love does this woman need? And I told a friend of mine about this, and she said, well, he was a troubled child, and she went through this whole thing. And that just broke my heart, because that's not saying, just imagine, just put yourself in her shoes. That wasn't loving and empathetic. That was judging this woman. That was judging her. And it was harsh and uncalled for. And we don't want to be those women. And if we have emotional intelligence, especially empathy, we have the ability to walk in their shoes and to understand as best we can anyway. Because you can't be a different race or a different sex or a different, live in a different part of the country, or you can't imagine certain things, but what you can do is certainly love on someone for their loss, for their hardship, for whatever is going on in their lives. We have the ability to do that as best we can with God's help. Galatians 5:22 through 23 says, "But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Against such there is no law." That is emotional intelligence right there. This is what we are being told, to have this fruit of the Spirit. This is from God Himself. He places this all inside of us. We all have emotional intelligence. All of us. We all do. It's just up to you whether or not you're going to use it. Start listening deeply. Start thinking in terms of empathy. When somebody tells you something, don't just try to fix it, but instead come alongside, love them up, walk in their shoes, and be that woman that understands that love is the supreme thing above all things. It's about loving, not having the last word, not being dismissive, and not being a beast. There's enough of that out there. There's enough harshness out there. Let's be loving. Your beautiful self depends on it. Amen? All right. Oh, I'm so sorry, Cindy. I get it. There's a lot. I think we're all suffering right now, if you will. I mean, suffer in the terms of overload. Just too much bad news all the time. 182,000 people dead in the United States from COVID. That's sad and awful. And we mourn those. Think about this. When we say 182,000, that's a city. And those people all represent a family that's mourning their loss. When I think about that, I want to weep. I don't know about you, but I just want to weep. And that is what we need to be praying for. This is what we need to be honoring with one another and our humanity, the God within us, and God here in our universe, loving us and giving us this ability to be those kind of people. So be that way, will you? Step up to your emotional intelligence. Open your heart and feel that empathy. Feel what it feels like to walk alongside. You've got it. Let's do it. Let's do that together, shall we? Can you imagine? We might just change the world together. Peace be with you. I appreciate you all.